If you find yourself running from one appointment to the next, physical therapy on Mondays and Wednesdays, occupational therapy on Tuesdays, speech therapy squeezed in on Fridays, plus weekly sensory integration sessions and maybe even ABA or other behavioral interventions, all while trying to manage a strict, restrictive diet and administer what feels like 50 to 100 supplements, vitamins, detox agents, and homeopathics every single day, I want you to know that you're not alone. More importantly, I want you to know that you're not missing anything. You're not failing your child. The truth is, you may actually be doing too much. In the quest to help your child heal, develop, regulate, it's easy to fall into the trap of constantly adding more. More therapies, more protocols, more supplements, without realizing that their nervous system may already be at or beyond capacity. When the brain and body are stuck in a constant state of stress, sympathetic overload, vagus nerve dysfunction, subluxation, dysautonomia, even well-intentioned interventions can be overstimulating and in some cases even counterproductive. That's why so many families that we work with report that despite doing everything right, their child is still stuck, plateaued, or even regressing. It's not because you haven't found the perfect protocol or the right combination of therapies. It's because healing doesn't come from piling on more things. It comes from starting at the foundation first. And oftentimes, the most powerful next step isn't another supplement or session, but rather taking a step back, calming the chaos, and working to first regulate and restore the nervous system. So in this video, I'm going to talk to all of you exhausted parents whose children are enrolled in multiple therapies, but are experiencing plateaus, regression, or continued struggles despite significant investments in time, money, and energy in various interventions. We're revealing why multiple beneficial therapies can actually cancel each other out when applied to an already overwhelmed nervous system, and how understanding proper sequencing, starting with the nervous system restoration and regulation first, can transform your child's therapy journey from exhausting to extraordinary. We have found that on average, a child on the autism spectrum is enrolled in 3 to 5 different therapies that are done each and every week. It takes between 5 to 20 various supplements, and their parents report having tried on an average of 3 to 5 different restrictive diet changes to help them heal. That total load, when you combine the therapies, ABA, speech, OT, PT, special ed, and the supplements, detox, the strict diets, many level 3 autism families are managing 15 to 30 plus separate daily to-dos, which can easily become overwhelming and sometimes counterproductive, especially if the underlying nervous system dysregulation isn't addressed first. So let's understand what healing interventions overload really is. Healing interventions overload occurs when multiple behavioral therapies overwhelm a child's already dysregulated nervous system, causing individual interventions to work against each other rather than building synergistically toward improvement. Think of your child's nervous system like a computer with limited processing power. When too many tabs are open and too many programs are running simultaneously, the entire system slows down or crashes. You can also think of your child's nervous system like a circuit board. If it's already miswired or overloaded, plugging in too many things at once, even good therapies, can trip the system and blow the fuse. This explains why children with subluxation and nervous system dysregulation often struggle with sleep, meltdowns, sensory overload, and even seizures or motor tics when their nervous system gets overwhelmed from too many therapies happening all at once. So what's the hidden science behind why good therapies go bad? Let's talk about the energy thief hierarchy. When your child's nervous system is stuck in a sympathetic dominant state, essentially living in a constant fight or flight, it operates like a smartphone with a dying battery. Every function becomes about survival and energy conservation, not growth and learning. Stress nervous systems drain energy in a hierarchy, starting with the gut and GI system, which often struggles with motility, absorption, assimilation, and elimination as a result, causing a child to chronically not feel very good and therefore struggle in therapies. The second is the motor system, which suffers through delayed milestones, poor coordination, hypertonicity and spasms, weak core strength, resulting in crawling delays, W-sitting, toe walking, incoordination, and gait issues that stall out are hard to address with PT and OT alone. Sleep issues are also at their root a neuromotor dysfunction. Third, immune function deteriorates, leading to chronic inflammation, frequent ear infections, antibiotics, more infections, asthma, and autoimmune conditions. So if your child is sick all the time, they either can't make it to the therapies or they can't get much out of them. This is why millions of kids today still struggle with chronic gut issues despite having pristine diets and thousands of dollars worth of supplements. The problem is not their nutrition, it's with the neurology. And now the transformation solution, the sequential healing that actually works. The answer isn't to abandon all of these beneficial therapies. It's to understand the proper sequence for introducing them, creating what we call the multiplier effect, where each intervention becomes exponentially more effective. Phase 1 focuses exclusively on high-frequency, neurologically focused chiropractic care to address subluxation patterns and restore proper nervous system function, implementing a less is more approach by pausing most other major interventions. Let's consider that foundation of the building. We want to make sure that is strong before we start adding the house on top. Then the second phase is strategically reintroducing those supports for the core 4 functions: sleep, gut and GI, immune balance, and motor development. These foundational systems must be online before higher level functions like speech or academic learning can develop properly. The best place to start with phase 2 is the motor system. As you know, you can see that your child will be able to benefit so much more from PT, OT, and speech therapy once their nervous system is better regulated, connected, and coordinated. In most cases, when a full care plan of neurologically focused chiropractic care is done right and done fully, primitive reflexes will fade and integrate on their own. And finally, after the neuromotor system is working better, you can begin to better support the gut immune system and work on detoxification and elimination more smoothly, safely, and effectively. Now, phase 3 is when the magic happens. With a regulated nervous system and stable foundational functions, previously ineffective therapies can produce dramatic results, and children with regulated autonomic function experience exponentially better therapy gains and start to really catch up and get back on track developmentally. So how do you find out if your child is dysregulated and overloaded? Start first by just doing an honest gut check on their progress and what your parent gut is telling you may be going on. Are they moving things forward, leaving your child stuck, or making things worse? Second, we use the advanced insight scanning technology to precisely measure nervous system dysregulation, subluxation, and vagus nerve dysfunction to see if your child's nervous system is completely overloaded, overwhelmed, and exhausted, meaning they would struggle to gain benefit from other integrated therapies. This gives parents confidence to trust the process and resist the urge to add more interventions prematurely, because clinically, we know that scans will often improve before signs, which means true foundational neurological healing is happening first. If everything we talked about in this video sounds all too familiar and you'd like to learn more about healing interventions overload, the insight scans, and how to learn more about the sequencing of optimal healing, click the link in our bio or comment below and send us a DM.